Hello and welcome to Ageless Rock, a channel for megalithic fans where a different perspective of megalithic sites are seen through megalithic lens. Today, we are going to explore a giant Buddha created out of bedrock in one piece. Pretty amazing work of a flawless execution of a masterpiece at gigantic scale. The site we are going to explore in this video is called Xumishan Shiku. The name is derived from Mount Meru, found in Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain cosmology. Mount Meru is the sacred mountain in religious texts but is not related to any particular geographical area. Su in Sumeru is a prefix for great, and Mahameru simply means the Great Meru. The sacred Great Meru Mountain in the spiritual realm is basically the inspiration for naming this site known as Xumishan. This part of China is pretty cold and dry. This giant Buddha sits at an altitude of about 1,700 meters or 5,600 feet above sea level. Some caves are located as high as 1,850 meters above sea level. It is believed that construction began as early as Northern Wei Dynasty in the autonomous region of Ningxia, which is formerly a province with currently a population of approximately 7 million residents. Based on the assumption that Northern Wei Dynasty was responsible for such a magnificent project, this giant Buddha could have been sitting around on this red sandstone cliff for about 1,300 to 1,700 years. Though giant Buddha has been around for a long time, he is not alone at this site. In 1986, archaeological survey discovered 132 cave grottoes, believed to have been carved between 5th and 10th century. But I think that's because the later mural additions and improvements rather than ancient Chinese chipping away bedrock. Although construction is thought to have been started by Northern Wei Dynasty of 5th century, it is believed that it was the later Tang Dynasty of 7th century that carved this giant Buddha. However, my megalithic lens tells me someone else was here first. Look at the long diagonal cut on the right in the yellow box. This is not a striation due to sedimentary rock that got pushed up by forces of nature. Let's take a closer look at the diagonal cut. Obviously, this is not the result of a chisel. In fact, there is no chisel mark. It seems like a tool went through diagonally as if the bedrock was soft like clay or a tool that made it soft as it runs through the bedrock. This tool or machine was able to create the foundation at megalithic scale for the entire site. It left a smooth and rounded surface on the lower side while the upper side shows a clear rough cut. If you look at the area from a larger view, you can tell that the long diagonal cut was the result of a tool that made the surface of this bedrock nice and smooth before work can begin for a giant Buddha. You might think I'm crazy to say there is rock melting technology involved. Then you might have to go there and see for yourself if this is natural or unnatural cavities of a red sandstone bedrock. It looks like cheese sliced off by a hot knife to me. Rock melting technology is a common thing at megalithic sites around the world, but this cliff site looks like lava flow just stopped here abruptly, and someone cut vertically to see what is inside while it is still very hot. It doesn't look like a natural interior of a red sandstone. This site is now under national level cultural relic protected site. Modern awning to protect the giant Buddha from rain and sun were added. Steps and platforms were made to provide safety and better viewing for tourists. There are 132 cave grottoes strewn all over at this site. They are random in size and location. If you remove all the modern wood and concrete structures, you will be wondering why would anyone make a hole at a spot where it is difficult to reach, like those in the yellow boxes. Despite everyone saying it was at the end of Northern Wei dynasty who created such monuments, there is actually no record of its construction. It is also believed that the people were at some point not satisfied with the government, and these caves were carved to encourage meditation and worship of Buddha. But I think that is a weak connection because you can encourage meditation and worship in a wooden temple, which is 100 times easier. Whenever you look at such a marvelous view of caves believed to have been created by mere soft ancient chisels, you have to wonder how it was done. I want to point out the stairs carved on the bedrock in the yellow box. Is it logical to even do that when everything is made of wood? It is only assumed that Chinese were here and therefore they did it. Everything is done by human because we are the only creature with chisels. But how do you chisel stairs with even striations? The striations show that the machine cuts at an angle with even gaps. If Chinese had this tool 1700 years ago, there would be palaces made of red sandstones. In fact, they don't even need to move stones. They just need to rake the entire hill into a palace. The later Tang dynasty is believed to be the one responsible for this 20.6 meter tall or 68 feet tall giant Buddha, which is the cave number 5. But they also created many rectangular caves. Many are in danger of damages due to erosions and lootings. This site entered the list of world's top 100 endangered civilization sites in 2007. This large Buddha statue is 4.65 meters tall. It is known as a Thousand Buddha pattern cave. It has mural paintings of Buddha all over the wall. It feels like a thousand painting, but that is just a poetic description. I guess no one will ever know because the paintings were peeling off due to weathering. Mount Meru Grottoes received a large-scale restoration from the Qing dynasty and an inscription was erected to record the work done. So you have to wonder why a restoration work deserves an inscription while the entire site is devoid of clue as to who created it. Mount Meru Grottoes is very remote and even archaeologists paid little attention to this site. It wasn't until 1956 Sumeru Mountain Grottoes were made known to the world, and it took another 4 years to release the results of the inspection. There were only 20 caves with Buddhist statues in good condition. There are about 70 caves with paintings and statues. The mural painting took an estimated 187 square meters of space. The rest are just plain bare caves with nothing to see. But if we conclude that those who painted the caves were the hard-working Chinese who chiseled them as well, then there is a good reason to think we came to the wrong conclusion. Ningxia Autonomous Region is cold and dry most of the year. I can imagine Chinese hacking bedrock only in summertime if that ever happened. But summertime is for planting crops and enjoying outdoor activities under the sun. To hew bedrock for a Buddha statue would probably come from a king's instruction because Buddha statues during this time were all made of clay. I am skeptical about who created this giant Buddha because the mysterious rectangular holes are all over the wall on the left side and the right side. They are random in size and location, and if ancient Chinese did this, we would have known what it is for by now. As I mentioned earlier, scholars believe Chinese were not happy with the government and Buddhism was promoted to have peace. But I don't think that Chinese will resort to carving caves and Buddhas when they are not happy with the government. Contrary to that, during the Cultural Revolution from 1966 to 1976, Statues here were destroyed. Giant Buddha was used as a target practice for shooting. Once again, the greatest threat to religious site is human nature. Today, Ningxia has one-third Muslim population and they are from the Hui ethnicity. Hui people are basically Han Chinese, but they were referred to specifically as Hui, referring to those who embrace Islam. It all started during the Song dynasty or approximately 1000 years ago. Down Meru Grottoes is a large area to cover. After spending the entire day at this site, don't forget to check out the Hui cuisine. Due to their religious limitations, there is a good variety of different food for you to try out. It will be a memorable sight because of the giant Buddha and the menu. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoy watching this short presentation on Xumishan Grottoes. See you in the next video and have a wonderful day. This is Bernie Ong signing out. 谢谢。